Culture through paintings and artworks. In this lesson, you will learn how Indian culture has got enriched for ages through the portrayal of Indian culture and traditions in the paintings and various forms of artworks, including handicrafts. This lesson aims to bring out such paintings and other art forms to you as a student of visual communication for your appreciation of how the study of these paintings has offered deeper insights into the past. These paintings preserved the different cultures and traditions at different times. We have learned earlier different forms of paintings. Now we focus on how Indian history can be better interpreted using various forms of paintings and artworks. To inform the learner the significance of paintings depicting Indian history, art and culture. To enlighten the student about the manner the ancient literature, epics, historical and prehistorical events influenced the art, including the paintings and other forms of artworks. To make the student understand that a comprehensive role of paintings and other artworks in perpetuating the ancient and modern heritage of India down the ages. The main aim of the artist is to create beauty, and while working on a particular painting, they keep that in mind. This is why the Indian arts have a distinct position in the global arena. As compared to other forms of art like dance and music, paintings are capable to portray the feelings and emotions of the artist for a long period. In simple words, Indian paintings to have the capability to portray the human emotions and hold them for a longer period. Style of Indian paintings varies from region to region. It has gone through many changes since prehistoric times. Like Ajanta-Ellora cave paintings depict the stories of different groups of people with different religions and cultures. The paintings there are explicit in their spirituality and point of being sensual. It portrays Buddha, sleeping, women and love scenes. As time passed, the way of doing the painting changed. Initially, the caves and leaves were used for painting, but now canvases and papers are used. New and different media have also evolved from the time to time, but the characteristics of the Indian paintings have always remained the same. India's tradition, cultural sentiments and religious beliefs influence different styles of Indian art and paintings. The paintings are classified into large number of forms, which are Rajput painting, Warli painting, Mali painting, Kalighat painting, Maithili painting, Mughal painting, Tanjore paintings, Jadupatu painting, Puri painting, miniature painting, Mysore painting, Pahad painting, Murali painting, Pahari painting. All these forms are popular worldwide. To decorate their houses, the art admirers from all around the world have decided to decorate their houses and offices with these Indian paintings. With the advancement of the technology and with the introduction of online art galleries, the worries of buyers and art collections have vanished. From online art galleries, you can purchase the desired paintings in a fraction of seconds. It is convenient as well as much cheaper from the conventional art galleries. Indian paintings has a very long tradition and history in Indian art, though because of the climatic conditions, very few early examples survive. The earliest Indian paintings were the rock paintings of prehistoric times, the petroglyphs as found in places like Bhimbetka rock shelters. Some of the Stone Age rock paintings found among the Bhimbetka rock shelters are approximately 10,000 years old. This is a UNESCO World Heritage site believed to be around 10,000 years old. They are situated in the foothills of Vindhya mountains, Raisan district of Madhya Pradesh. These were excavated by an archaeologist V.S. Wakankar in the year 1957. Out of 760 shelters, only 500 are found to be painted, ranging from Mesolithic to medieval period. India's ancient Hindu and Buddhist literature has many mentions of palaces and other buildings decorated with paintings, but the paintings of Ajanta caves are the most significant of the few survivals. Smaller scale paintings in manuscripts was probably also practiced in this period, though the earliest survival are from the medieval period. A new style was introduced with Mughal painting, representing a fusion of the Persian miniature with the older Indian traditions, and from the 17th century its style was diffused across Indian princely courts of all religions, such as developing a local style. Company paintings were made from British clients under the British Raj, which from the time of 19th century also introduced art schools along the western lines, leading to modern Indian paintings, which is increasingly returning to India's roots. Indian paintings can be broadly classified as murals, miniature and paintings on cloth. Murals are large works executed on the walls of solid structures, as in the Ajanta caves and the Kailashnath temple. Miniature paintings are executed on a very small scale for books or albums on perishable materials such as paper and cloth. Traces of murals in fresco like techniques survive in a number of sites with Indian rock art architecture going back to at least 2000 years, but in the 1st and 5th century remains at the Ajanta caves are much of the most significant. Paintings on cloths were often produced in a more popular context, often as folk art, used for example by travelling reciters of epic poetry and brought as souvenirs of pilgrimages. Very few survivals are older than about 200 years, but it is clear that the traditions are much older. Some regional traditions are still producing works. The oldest Indian paintings are rock art in caves which are around 10,000 years old, such as Bhimbetka cave paintings. The study of Indian murals starts in ancient and early medieval times from 2nd century BC to 8th century to 10th century AD. There are known more than 20 locations around India containing murals from this period, mainly natural caves and rock art chambers. The highest achievement of this time are the caves of Ajanta, Bhag, Sittanava cave, Tamil Nadu, Revan Chaya rock shelter, Kailashnath temple in Ellora caves. Murals from the period depict mainly religious themes of Buddhist, Jain and Hindu religions. There are though also locations where paintings were made to adorn mundane premises like ancient theatre room in Jogimara cave and possible royal hunting lodge circa 7th century AD, Ravan Chaya rock shelter. The pattern of large scale wall painting which had dominated the scene witnessed the advent of miniature paintings during the 11th and 12th centuries. This new style figured first in the form of illustrations etched on palm leaf manuscripts. The contents of these manuscripts included literature on Buddhism and Jainism. In eastern India, principal centers of artistic and intellectual activities of the Buddhist religion were Nalanda, Odantapuri, Vikramshila, Somarpura, situated in the Palka region, Bengal and Bihar. Early survivals of notable Indian paintings are still miniatures from texts. The great majority of painted objects such as boxes, despite considerable evidence that larger paintings on cloth known as pata existed, and indeed surviving texts discussing how to make them, not a single medieval Indian painting on cloth is known to survive, unless some Buddhist one have been taken as Tibetan or from Central Asia. Some of the images recovered by Sir R. L. Steen show Hindu deities, most are Buddhist. Eastern India painting. In Eastern India, miniature painting survives from the 10th century. These miniatures depicting Buddhist divinities and scenes from the life of Buddha were painted on the leaves about 2.2 by 3 inches of the palm leaf manuscripts as well as their wooden covers. Ashtasahasrika, Pragna Paramita, Pancharaksha, Karanda Vyuha and Kalachakra Tantra. The earliest extant miniatures are found in a manuscript of the Ashtasahasrika, Pragna Paramita, dated in the 6th regnal year of Mahipala, presently the possession of the Asiatic Society of Kolkata. This style disappeared from India in the late 12th century. Western Indian miniature painting. Miniature paintings are beautiful handmade paintings which are quite colorful but small in size. The highlight of these paintings is the intricate and delicate brushwork which lends them a unique identity. The colors are homemade from minerals, vegetables, precious stones, indigo, conch shells, pure gold and silver. The evolution of Indian miniature paintings started in the western Himalayas around 17th century. The subjects of these miniature paintings are in relation to the subjects of the manuscripts, mostly religious and literary. Many paintings are from Sanskrit and folk literature. It is on the subject of the love stories. Some paintings from Vaishnava sect of Hindu religion and some are from Jain sect. The paintings of Vaishnava sect are regarding various occasions of the life of Lord Krishna and gopis. Vaishnava paintings of Gita and Govinda are about Lord Krishna. The paintings of Jain sect is concerning to Jain lords and religious subjects. These paintings were created on Talapatra, that means the leaf of the palm tree, and paper. During the period, earlier manuscripts were created from the leaf of the palm tree, later on from the paper. In these paintings, there are very few human characters with front to face are seen. Most of the human characters are seen with side profile. Big eyes, pointed nose and slim waist are the features of these paintings. The skin colors of human being are brown and fair. The skin color of the Lord Krishna is blue. Color of the air and ice is black. Women characters have long hair. Human characters have worn jewelry on the hand, nose, neck, hair, waist and ankles. Men and women wear the traditional Indian dress, slippers and shoes. Men wear turbans on their head. In these paintings, trees, rivers, flowers, birds, the land, the sky, houses, traditional chairs, cushions, curtains, lamps and human characters have been painted. Mostly natural colors have been used in these paintings. Black, red, white, brown, blue and yellow colors are also used to decorate the paintings. The kings, courtiers of the kings, wealthy businessmen and religious leaders of the time were the promoters of these miniature paintings. Painters of these pictures were from the local society. Vachak was the famous painter of the time. Painters tried to make subject of the manuscript live by these pictures so that the readers of these manuscripts can enjoy reading. Ancient texts defined 6 important aspects of painting. These 6 limbs have been translated as Rupabheda, the knowledge of appearances; Pramanam, correct perception, measure and structure; Bhava, action of feelings on forms; Lavanya Yojanam, inclusion of grace, artistic representation; Sadrisyam, similitude; Varnikabhanga, artistic manner of using the brush and colors. The subsequent development of the painting by the Buddhists indicates that these 6 limbs were put into practice by the Indian artists and are the basic principles on which the art was founded. Early modern period 1526 to 1857 CE. Mughal painting. Mughal painting is a style of Indian painting generally confined to illustrations on the book and done in miniatures, and which emerged, developed and took shape during the period of the Mughal Empire between the 16th and 19th centuries. The Mughal style was heavily influenced by Persian miniatures and in turn influenced several Indian styles, including the Rajput, Pahari and Deccan styles of painting. Mughal paintings were a unique blend of Indian, Persian and Islamic styles. Because the Mughal kings wanted visual records of their deeds as hunters and conquerors, their artists accompanied them on military expeditions or missions of state, or recorded their prowess as animal slayers, or depicted them in great dynastic ceremonies of marriages. Akbar's reign 1556 to 1605 ushered a new era in Indian miniature painting. After he had consolidated his political power, he built a new capital at Fatehpur Sikri, where he collected artists from India and Persia. He was the first monarch who established in India an atelier under the supervision of 2 Persian master artists, Mir Syed Ali and Abdus Samad. Earlier, both of them had served under the patronage of Humayun in Kabul and accompanied him to India when he regained his throne in 1555. More than 100 painters were employed, most of whom were from Gujarat, Gwalior and Kashmir, who gave a birth to the new school of painting popularly known as Mughal School of Miniature Paintings. One of the first productions of that school of miniature paintings was the Hamjanama series, which according to court historian Badayuni was started in 1567 and completed in 1582. The Hamjanama stories of Amir Hamza, an uncle of the Prophet, were illustrated by Mir Syed Ali. The paintings of the Hamjanama are of large size, 20 into 27 inches, and were painted on cloth. Brilliant red, blue and green colors predominate the pink. Eroded rocks and the vegetation plains and blossoming plum and peach trees are reminiscent of Persia. However, Indian tones appear in later work when Indian artists were employed. After him, Jahangir encouraged artists to paint portraits and darbar scenes. His most talented portrait painters were the Ustad Mansur, Abdul Hasan and Bishan Das. Shah Jahan 1627 to 1658 continued the patronage of painting. Some of the famous artists of the period were Muhammad Fariqullah Khan, Mir Hashim, Muhammad Nadir, Bishitar Shintaman, Anup Chatar, Manohar and Honhar. Aurangzeb had no taste for fine arts, probably due to his Islamic conservatism. Due to lack of patronage, artists migrated to Hyderabad in the Deccan and to the Hindu states of Rajputana in search of new patrons. Malwa, Deccan and Jaunpur schools of painting. Alburak, depicted in the Deccan style of emblematic of the Deccans, cosmopolitanism. The visual traditions of Central Asia and Iran are expressed, but at the center is the elephant that is native to India. A new trend in manuscript illustration was set by manuscript of Nimatnama painted at Mandu during the reign of Nazir Shah 1500 to 1510. This represents a synthesis of the indigenous and the patronized Persian style, though it was the latter which dominated that Mandu manuscripts. There was another style of painting known as the Lodi Kuladar that flourished in the Sultanist dominion of North India, extending from Delhi to Janupur. The miniature painting style, which flourished initially in the Bahmani court and later in the courts of Ahmednagar, Bijapur and Golconda, is popularly known as Deccan School of Painting. One of the earliest surviving paintings are found as the illustration of manuscript of Tarif-e Hussain Shahi, circa 1565, which is now in Bharata Itihas Samshodhaka, Mandala, Pune. About 400 miniature paintings are found in the manuscripts of Nujum-ul-Ulum, Stars of Science, 1570, kept in Chester Beatley Library, Dublin. Rajput painting, a style of Indian painting, evolved and flourished during the 18th century in the royal courts of Rajputana. Each Rajput kingdom evolved a distinct style, but with certain common features. Rajput paintings depict a number of themes, events of epics like the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, Krishna's life, beautiful landscapes and humans. Miniatures were the preferred medium of Rajput painting, but several manuscripts also contain Rajput paintings, and paintings were even done on the walls of palaces, inner chambers of the forts, Havelis, particularly the Havelis of Shekhawati. The colors extracted from certain minerals, plant sources, conch shells, and were even derived by processing precious stones. Gold and silver were used. The preparation of the desired colors was a lengthy process, sometimes taking weeks. Brushes used were very fine. Mysore painting. Mysore painting is an important form of classical South Indian painting that originated in the towns of Mysore in Karnataka. These paintings are known for the elegance, muted colors and attention to detail. The themes for the most of these paintings are Hindu gods and goddesses and scenes from the Hindu mythology in modern times. These paintings have become a much sought after souvenir during festive occasions in South India. The process of making a Mysore painting involves many stages. The first stage involves the making of the preliminary sketch of their image on the base. The base consists of the cartridge paper pasted on a wooden base. A paste made of zinc oxide and Arabic gum is made, called gesso paste. With the help of the thin brush, all the jewellery and parts of thrown on the arch which have some relief are painted over to give a slightly raised effect of carving. This is allowed to dry. On the thin gold foil is pasted. The rest of the drawings is then painted using watercolors. Only muted colors are used. Tanjore painting. Tanjore painting is an important form of classical South Indian painting native to the town of Tanjore in Tamil Nadu. The art form dates back to the early 9th century, a period dominated by Chola rulers who encouraged art and literature. These paintings are known for their elegance, rich colors and attention to detail. The themes for most of these paintings are Hindu gods and goddesses and scenes from Hindu mythology. In modern times, these paintings have become a much sought after souvenir during the festive occasions in South India. The process of making a Tanjore painting involves many stages. The first stage involves the making of the preliminary sketch of the image on the base. The base consists of cloth pasted over wooden base. Then chalk powder or zinc oxide is mixed with water, soluble adhesive, and apply it on the base. To make the bases smoother, a mild abrasive is sometimes used. After the drawing is made, decoration of the jewellery and apparels in the image is done with semi-precious stones. Laces or threads are also used to decorate the jewellery. On top of this, the gold foils are pasted. Finally, dyes are used to add colors to the figures in the paintings. Pattachitra. Pattachitra refers to the classical painting in Odisha and West Bengal in the eastern region of India. Patta in Sanskrit means vastra or clothings and chitra means paintings. The Bengali Pattachitra refers to the painting of West Bengal. It is a traditional and mythological heritage of West Bengal. The Bengal Pattachitra is divided into some different aspects like Durga Patt, tribal Pattachitra, Mednipur Pattachitra, Kalighat Pattachitra, etc. The subject matter of Bengal Pattachitra is mostly mythological, religious stories, folklore and social. The Kalighat Pattachitra, the last tradition of Bengal Pattachitra, is developed by Gemini Roy. The artist of Bengali Pattachitra is called Patua. The tradition of Odisha Patachitra is closely linked with the worship of Lord Jagannath. Apart from the fragmentary evidence of paintings on the caves of Kandagiri and Udayagiri and Sitabhinji murals of the 6th century AD, the earliest indigenous paintings from Odisha are the Patachitra done by Chitrakaras. The theme of Oriya painting centuries round the Vaishnava sect. Since the beginning of Patachitra culture, Lord Jagannath, who was an incarnation of Lord Krishna, was the major source of inspiration. The subject matter of Patachitra is mostly mythological, religious stories and folklore. Themes are chiefly on Lord Jagannatha and Radha Krishna, different Veshas of Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra, temple activities, the 10 incarnations of Vishnu, basing on the Gita Govinda of Jaidev, Kamakujara, Nabha, Gunjara, Ramayana, Mahabharata. The individual paintings of gods and goddesses are also being painted. The painters use vegetable and mineral colors without going for factory made poster colors. They prepare their own colors. White color is made from the conch shells by powdering, boiling and filtering in a very hazardous process. It requires a lot of patience, but this process gives brilliance and permanence to the hingula. A mineral color is used for red. Haridala, king of stone, ingredients for yellow. Ramaraja, a sort of indigo for blue, are being used. Pure lamp black or black prepared from burning of coconut shells are used. The brushes that are used by these Chitrakaras are also indigenous and are made of hair of domestic animals. A bunch of hair tied to the line end of the bamboo sticks make the brush. It is really a matter of wonder as to how these painters bring out lines of such precision and finish with the help of these crude brushes. That old tradition of Oriya painting still survives today in the skilled hands of Chitrakaras in Puri, Raghurajpur, Paralakhemundi, Chikti and Sonepur. Other regional styles. The Pahari style developed and flourished during 17th to 19th century, stretching from Jammu to Almora and Garhwal in the sub-Himalayan India through Himachal Pradesh. Each created stark variations within the genre, ranging from bold, intense Bhasholi painting originating from Basholi in Jammu and Kashmir to the delicate and lyrical Kangra paintings, which became synonymous in the style before other schools of paintings developed. Madhubani painting is a style of painting practiced in the Mithila region of Bihar state. Themes revolve around Hindu gods and mythology, along with the scenes from the royal court and social events like weddings. Generally, no space is left empty. The gaps are filled by paintings of flowers, animals, birds and even geometric designs. In these paintings, artists use leaves, herbs and flowers to make the color which is used to draw the paintings. Raja Ravivarma was a pioneer of modern Indian painting. He drew on Western traditions and techniques including oil paint and easel painting, with his subjects being purely Indian, such as Hindu deities and episodes from the epics and Puranas. Some other prominent Indian painters born in the 19th century are Mahadev Vishwanath, Dhurandhar 1867 to 1944, A.X. Trindade 1870 to 1935, M.F. Pitawala 1870 to 1937, Savlaram Lakshman Haldekar 1880 to 1968 and Herman Manjumdar 1994 to 1948. In the 19th century, according to R. Sivakumar, selective westernization for self-improvement gave way to a nationalist cultural counter stance around the turn of the century, universally the first step toward a political resistance toward colonial rule. In practice, this materialized as an assimilation of diverse Asian elements, expanding tradition more than reviving it. Leading artists of the time, Abanindranath Tagore 1871 to 1951, utilized both the Western influenced realism and Asian elements, which brought him close to early modernism. A reaction to the Western influence led to a revival in historic and modern nationalistic Indian art, called as the Bengal School of Art, which drew from the rich cultural heritage of India. Bengal School. The Bengal School of Art was influential style of art that flourished in India during the British Raj in the early 20th century. It was associated with Indian nationalism, but was also promoted and supported by many British arts administrators. The Bengal School arose as an avant-garde and nationalist movement reacting against the academic art styles previously promoted in India. both by Indian artists such as Ravi Verma and in British art schools. Following the widespread influence of Indian spiritual ideas in the West, the British art teacher Ernest Binfield Havell attempted to reform the teaching methods at the Calcutta School of Art by encouraging students to imitate Mughal miniatures. This caused immense controversy, leading to a strike by students and complaints from the local press, including from nationalists who considered it to be a retrogressive move. Havell was supported by the artist Abanindranath Tagore, a nephew of the poet and artist Rabindranath Tagore. Abanindranath pointed a number of works influenced by Mughal art, a style that he and Havell believed to be the expressive of India's distinct spiritual qualities as opposed to the materialism of the West. His best known painting, Bharat Mata, Mother India, depicted a young woman portrayed with 4 arms in the manner of Hindu deities holding objects symbolic of India's national aspirations. Tagore later attempted to develop links with Far Eastern artists as part of the aspiration to construct a Pan-Asianist model of art. With this Indo-Far Eastern model included Nandalal Bose, Mukul De, Kalipada Ghoshal, Binod Behari Mukherjee, Vinayak Shivaram Masoji, B.C. Sanyal, Bihor Ram Manohar Sinha, and subsequently their students A. Ramachandran, Tan Yuan Chameli, Ramananda Bandyopadhyaya, and a few others. The Bengal school's influence on Indian art scene gradually started alleviating with the spread of modernist ideas post-independence. K.G. Subramaniam's role in this movement is significant. Vernacular art is based on the collective memory of this group. Examples of vernacular Indian painting: tribal painting, Bhil painting, Varli painting, Gond painting, Santhal painting, Saura painting, Kurumba painting, rural painting, Pattachitra painting, Madhubani painting, Kalamkari painting, Kolam painting, Kalam painting, Mandana paintings. Indian art got a boost with the economic liberalization of the country since the early 90s. Artists from various fields now started bringing varied styles of work. Post-liberalization, Indian art thus works not only with the confines of academic traditions but also outside it. In this phase, artists have introduced even newer concepts which have hitherto not been seen in Indian art. Devajyoti Ray has introduced a new genre of art called pseudo-realism. Pseudo-realist art is an original art style that has been developed entirely on the Indian soil. Pseudo-realism takes into account the Indian concept of abstraction and uses it to transform regular scenes of Indian life into fantastic images. The lesson dwelt at length on how Indian cultures and traditions were preserved in the art and paintings. Down the ages, the Indian paintings continued to perform this function. Starting from Bhimbetka rock shelters to modernist paintings, the Indian paintings have a great history. The lesson dealt with Eastern Indian paintings and Western miniature paintings. It also expounded the Shadanga of Indian paintings. The Shadanga means how 6 limbs of art are applied in portraying different images. Next, the lesson dealt with early modern periods such as Mughal painting, Malwa, Deccan and Jaunpur school of painting, Rajput painting, Mysore painting, Tanjore painting and Pattachitra, and other regional styles. The lesson in particular explained the Bengal school of art besides different styles of painting that developed in India at different regions.